Alright, so what we're going to look at today is doing some website development using just HTML at this point. So I'm going over what we did yesterday. I think there's a couple that weren't here yesterday, so we'll just go over the basics. So building web pages requires a few things. It requires you to have a text editor, browser, and an image editor up and running. Those are the three things that you need. So first thing we'll do is I'll launch Text Wrangler. Okay. Next thing I'll do is I'll have a blank web page. This one will do. And I also need a file management of some sort, so I'm going to use Finder for that. Now I've already got one where this is what we did yesterday, where we created some folders and some space. So first thing to do is I will delete this and start from scratch again. Alright, so first thing to do is to create a folder called public_HTML, namely because that's what most of your commercial websites or websites on servers and that are housed in. So create a new folder called public_HTML, so I'll just do that. Public_HTML. And then inside there, you're going to need a folder for your images to go. Okay, so now I need to make a folder called images because that's where all your images will be housed. This is in the public_HTML folder. So I'll make a new folder called images. Noticing that everything is lowercase, namely because if you make a typo in your code and put a capital letter in there, then it's not going to work. So you need to make sure everything's lowercase to solve problems later on. So now I have my space. I have a folder called public_HTML. I have a folder called images. This is where, inside public_HTML, this is where all my content is going. So what I need now is I now need to go to my text editor. So in this case, I'm going to Text Wrangler. Got one here I've built before, but we'll start from scratch again. So this time I'm going to go File, Save As. I've got a new file, just File, New text document. You can use text editor, you can use Sublime, you can use Atom, you can use Unitron, whatever piece of text editing software you want. You do not use Word. So go File, New. And I go, the very first thing, this is where all your HTML code goes. So I go HTML to indicate to the browser that this is an HTML file. So make it a bit bigger. Then give a head. This is the head of the HTML file. And inside there I could put all sorts of things from titles to scripts and so on. I can put a title in here. And title is what appears on the top of your web page on the menu bar or as a bookmark title if you bookmark it. Now I'm just going to call this one My Page. Beautifully spelt. Notice that I've got a beginning tag and an ending tag. This is called a beginning tag and this is called an ending tag. And they all have their own. At the moment you don't see one for these. It's because they're going further down. Close my head. Tag. Then I'm going to open up a body tag. This is where the bulk of your work will go. And you'll have an opening and closing body tag. Just create that to start with. And then I have my closing HTML tag. With the appropriate ending tag on it. So if I go save as, it's going to be index.html. Home pages will always be index.html or .htm. Make sure that you choose HTML or HTML for all your pages, so there's no confusion later on. Because I'm a Mac aficionado, I'll stick with the HTML because it just reminds me that Windows sucked. All right. So in your body tag, this is where everything goes. So I can put Craig was here. Save it. Now I can go to my browser. Well, actually, I can just go to here, chuck that onto my browser, and there's my first web page. Craig was here. So this is in my browser, Safari. Craig was here. So you can double click on your index.html file, and that'll open up the browser for you. Okay. Job's done. So once I've done that, there's a couple of things that we'll just go over that we went over yesterday. One was heading tags. So heading 1 is a super large tag, and then what I did was I copied these and I went paste, 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 and then I went 2, 3, 4, 5. Same on this side. 2, 3, 4, 5. There is actually 6. Save that. Go over here, do a refresh. No need to reopen the page, just reload. And there's my heading tags. All right. Now that goes up to 6. Okay. And every time you do one of these, it creates a new line. This is a pile of stuff, followed by an image. Let's just zoom out a little bit, down to 75%. I can fit more on the page. Right, I'll save that, go over here and have a look. Refresh, yep, fantastic. Now, if I want to create a new line, a new sentence, I could do this, and so is this. Problem is, even though it looks like I've made it a new sentence in here, the browser doesn't interpret it as that. It helps if I save it first. Refresh, puts it on the same line. So the browser also picks up code that says, oh, you need to create a new line here. So in this particular place, there's a couple of things I can do. One is I can do the BR for break, save that, refresh, puts it on a new line. If I want a paragraph break, in other words, I want a line gap between them, which is quite common, then I could change, I'll do, copy this line so I don't have to type it. This is another pile of stuff followed by another image. All right, so if I save this, there's just 3 lines, one after the other. If I want a gap, then I've got to make it a paragraph gap. Then I put these paragraph markers in here to indicate that this sentence is a paragraph. Save that, go to here, do a refresh, and you notice the gaps that then ensue. So it's put a paragraph in the front and one at the back. And so you notice that I've got a gap here and a gap here. All right. If I wanted this one above to stay where it is, and this one here to, and so is this to be on a separate line, like a paragraph, then I need to put them down a bit. Save that. Now these 2 lines should be close together, and this one should have the gap. Refresh. There you go. And that's how your paragraph marker works. Now yesterday I showed you how to put an image onto it. Now you could download an image off the internet. I'll download an image of a cat, maybe. Well, why not? Because
the internet is still brainwashed by cats.
Because the internet is brainwashed by cats, exactly.
Still, after all these years.
I know, cats. Find me an image. Oh, there you go.
Although I can't blame them.
There's a cute little moggy. So I'll go to this one. I can download save this image to save image as the right spot. So I need to go to my documents folder, public_HTML, put it in my images folder. That's where I want it to be. That's just really too long a name. I'm just going to call it cat. Then I don't have to type so much. Or I could use Photoshop, put a banner up. Whoop, here's one I'd created earlier. Let's start a new one. file, new, here we go. New document. 700 wide by 50 high, so this is going to be a little bit of a banner in pixels. So I go create. Gives me this thing. I'll do what I did yesterday. Give it some lovely artwork. And give it some nice colouring. Oh, let's pick a colour. I know we'll do green. There you go.
Complementary colours.
Complementary colours. Very good. And we'll do those. There you go. Ooh, that looks pretty bad. And I might chuck in a little bit of orange. Yeah, that'll do. That colour there. That's the top bit. Just make it look really hideous and bad.
Ironic that they say it's complementary colours, even though that means that they're opposite colours. Complementary sounds like the exact opposite of that.
It is, usually. So I'm going to now export this for the web. So I could go down and say for web but we're just doing straight export as a PNG. And I'm going to save this one into the same location, public underscore HTML images, and I'm going to call this one banner.png, save. Right, now what I should be able to do is go to here, click on images, and I now have the banner.png and my cat.jpg. Alright, so let's go back to Text Wrangler. And I'm now going to insert an image. So I said there was an image here. So let's put the cat in there. So the image tag is image source equals double quotes. The ending tag, and it is images / cat.jpg. Alright, notice the colouring format. Alright, different tags have different colouring and all that sort of carry on. And this one here, I could just copy that code, put that in here. Actually, I'm going to put this up the top. So I want it to be a banner, and I'm going to change that to banner.png. Because the browser reads the code and puts it where it's supposed to go. I save that, go to my browser, go to my page, do a refresh, and there you go. I've got a banner, and I've also got a pretty cat. All right. Oh, look at this. A bit of a problem. That should be on a separate line. So let's go to refresh. Yep. Let's go to the code, have a look. Cat images, because images can also be classified as text or things that sit on the same line as text. So I'm just going to put a break at the end of that because I might want that information directly underneath. Save that, go back to here, do a refresh. Oh, that's better. But that's too close, this is too close, so maybe I'll use the paragraph marker. Maybe the image of the cat's too big. So what I can do is I go back to the code and say the cat is too big. So I'm going to go the width equals 100 and height equals 100. Because I can tell the browser to constrain the image to its particular size by doing things like this. So I go refresh. And, oh, the poor cat. Very, maybe the height shouldn't be a square. Maybe 75. So refresh. There you go, the cat looks a little bit better. Although now he's almost too small. And there's my banner on the top, etc., etc. So that's our main stuff to do at the moment. So what we want to do next is actually put it onto our web server space. All right. But we'll leave that for now. And I'll come back and we'll do a little bit more on tables, linked lists, or lists, dot points, and so on, etc. Okay.